So how do you plead to this criminal mischief?
Guilty, not
Are you
hearing,
pleading guilty voluntarily and because you are guilty?
because I am guilty.
And
Voluntarily,
those prior convictions that we talked about in paragraphs 2 and 3 of this indictment for criminal mischief, are those all true and correct as they are alleged? And are you pleading true and correct to that? Are now called 24 CR 2400 and 26 CR 306, the state of Texas versus Jorge Daniel Perez. You are Mr. Perez?
yes, sir.
And you are here, Mr. West, your attorney and the state's attorney. There is a first amended motion to revoke unadjudicated probation in 24 CR 2500 and a new indictment in 26 CR 306. Does the defendant waive formal readings of these charging instruments in each case? Can we proceed to some?
Yes, sir, please.
First of all, in 24 CR 2400, a first amended motion to revoke unadjudicated probation. Raise your right hand, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any statements you make during this hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Lower your hand. In summary, sir, this first amended motion to revoke unadjudicated probation filed September 25th of last year, 2025, states that on January 27th, 2025, in this criminal district court of Jefferson County, Texas, you were placed on 5 years deferred or unadjudicated probation for the state jail felony of criminal mischief. Is all of that true?
Yes.
Allegation 1 states that you failed to report to the Jefferson County Probation Office for the months of March, April, May, and June of 2025, and apparently was an absconder. Just failed to report, and you were required to report monthly, and you did not do that. Is that allegation true and correct?
Yes.
Are you pleading true to this voluntarily and because it is true?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that a voluntarily and knowingly made plea of true to one or more violations of probation, that's enough to grant a motion to revoke unadjudicated probation? Your deferred or unadjudicated probation can be revoked, and you can be sentenced to no less than 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail. Knowing that, do you insist on pleading true today?
Yes.
I find you were pleading true voluntarily. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading true.
Yes.
Allegation 2 goes on to state that you committed the offense of criminal mischief, a state jail felony, on or about August 4th, 2025 in Jefferson County, Texas, which is a violation of condition 1 of your probation order, which states do not commit a crime. Did you do that? Did you commit criminal mischief?
Yes.
Are you pleading guilty to that and admitting to that allegation voluntarily, knowingly, intelligently, and because it is true?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Stand by. .03 of the Texas code, the penal code states a person commits the offense of criminal mischief if, without the effective consent of the owner, he intentionally or knowingly damages or destroys the tangible property of the owner of the property. Stand by. And this states that on or about August 4th, 2025, according to the affidavit for arrest warrant on you, that you admitted to Groves Police that you picked up a rock and started hitting and damaging truck windshields over at
Town Country
4545 Twin City Highway. And that was without any consent of the people who owned that property, and you damaged those vehicles. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So are you pleading true then to allegation 2 of this first amended motion to revoke probation, that you did indeed commit criminal mischief on or about August 4th, 2025 in Jefferson County, Texas, which is in violation of your probation. Is that true and correct as it is alleged?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading true and correct to this voluntarily and because it is true?
Yes, it's true. Yes.
Do you understand that a true and correct violation of any violation of probation, such as these two allegations in this first amended motion to revoke unadjudicated probation you have pleaded true to this morning, that is enough to grant the first amended motion to revoke probation? Your probation can now be revoked and you can be sentenced to no less than 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail. Knowing that, do you insist on pleading true today, sir?
Yes, sir.
I find you are pleading true voluntarily. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading true today. An allegation. I'm sorry. An agreement's been reached where the defendant would be pleading true. His probation would be revoked and he would be found guilty now of this underlying state jail felony of criminal mischief, and he would be sentenced to 2 years in the state jail to run concurrently with this other case. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
If I follow this agreement, sir, you have no right of appeal of your case. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
In this case, showing you what's marked as State's Exhibit 1. Did you sign that? Understand it? Discuss it with your attorney? Is everything true and correct there?
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit 1 tender?
No objection.
Without objection admitted. This states if I follow this agreement, you have no right of appeal. I'm going to follow this agreement in this case. Anything else on this?
Nothing on
I will make the finding that the defendant has pleaded true. He had pleaded true earlier in this first amended motion to revoke probation back in January of 2026. And then subsequent to that, we I think that was a
request for evaluation.
a request for a mental health evaluation to determine competency. And Dr. Edgar Pond actually had evaluated him in November of 2025 and found the defendant competent. But because of the strange manifestations that the defendant made during this hearing earlier in January of 2026 on the first amended motion to revoke probation, the court ordered another determination of competency. Dr. Grapon has determined in his report dated May 28, 26 that the defendant is competent to answer his criminal legal proceedings. And I'm calling this court's Exhibit 1 on this date for each of these two cases. Any objections for their admission?
No objection.
It's no objection, Judge.
It's part of the record, and the court finds that you are competent to make your pleas of true in this motion to revoke probation. Once again, allegations 1 and 2 are proven true by a preponderance of the evidence or greater. This first amended motion to revoke unadjudicated probation is hereby granted. Your deferred or unadjudicated probation is hereby revoked. Earlier in that case, you pleaded guilty voluntarily. You were mentally competent to do so. You understood and appreciated the consequences of pleading guilty. There was sufficient evidence supporting your guilty plea from State's Exhibit 1 admitted at the time of your plea to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Now that your deferred or unadjudicated probation is hereby revoked, I now find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of this state jail felony. I'm following this agreement by the parties. You are hereby sentenced to confinement in the state jail for a term of 2 years. This is going to run concurrently with this next case. Do you understand what has happened today, sir?
Yes, sir.
We go down to 26 CR 306. Does the defendant waive a formal reading of this item? Can we proceed?
Yes.
In summary, sir, this indictment alleges that in paragraph 1, that on or about August 4th, 2025 in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed the state jail felony of criminal mischief. And what else is he going to be pleading guilty to? Because it says a third-degree felony.
Right.
So what is he pleading?
Well, we need at least the next two paragraphs.
Yes.
And paragraph 2 goes on to allege that on July 16th, 2012, in the 252nd Criminal District Court of Jefferson County, Texas, you were convicted of the state jail felony of criminal mischief. Is that true and correct as it is alleged?
Yes, sir.
And you were also finally convicted of the state jail felony of criminal mischief on May 15th, 2015 in cause number 14-19627 in the 252nd District Court of Jefferson County, Texas. Is that also true and correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading true and correct to each of these two final convictions voluntarily and because they are true as they are alleged?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that a voluntarily and knowingly made plea of true to one or more violations, one or more allegations of prior convictions, that is enough to grant an enhancement of paragraph 1 of an indictment? And in this case, this state jail felony can be enhanced to a state jail felony punished as though it were a third-degree felony by these two prior state jail felonies. Knowing that, do you insist on pleading true today?
Yes, sir.
I find you pleading true voluntarily. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading true.
Yes, sir.
A fine up to $10,000 can be assessed. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
An agreement's been reached in this case between the parties where you would be pleading guilty, sentenced to 7 years in prison to run concurrently with that 2-year state jail case punishment that the court assessed earlier today. And is that your understanding of the plan?
Yes, sir.
If I follow this agreement, you have no right of appeal of your case. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So how do you plead to this criminal mischief?
Guilty, not
Are you
guilty,
pleading guilty voluntarily and because you are guilty?
because I am guilty.
And
Voluntarily.
those prior convictions that we talked about in paragraphs 2 and 3 of this indictment for criminal mischief, are those all true and correct as they are alleged? And are you pleading true and correct to that voluntarily and because it is true?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 1. Did you sign that?
Yes.
Understand it? Discuss it with your attorney. Is everything true and correct here?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 1 tendered into evidence.
No objection.
No objection admitted. This states, among other things, you are mentally competent to enter your guilty plea voluntarily made. I will make the following final findings. State jail back February 3rd to the paragraphs 2 and 3 alleged prior state jail felony convictions of criminal mischief. Need of mentally competent to enter felony convictions as well as